The first thing to keep in mind is that gamers enjoy becoming video game addicts. Over time, online gaming has captured the interest of many young people. The most popular game for game addiction is Heroes. Over time, online gaming has captured the interest of many young people. The most popular is Heroes, a video game. In the gaming industry, it is a significant event. According to estimates, at least 100 million Americans are interested in playing these games. This is the World Championship, after all. Heroes had created a professional circle across the world as early as 8 years ago. It was also a circle of competitive players that many Chinese were unfamiliar with. Many parents believe that their children who enjoy playing video games are only capable of playing. However, the team that won the championship in the 5th World League Game of Heroes 3 years ago received a worldwide $10 million bonus. That's correct. Not some virtual currency, but actual cash. From the 5th World League until the present, the first-place prize money has been granted, and the official start of the 9th Dream Cup World League champion reward has reached an incredible $50 million. It has also fueled the enthusiasm of this year's team. Aside from that, teams all around the world are known for becoming world champions. The second reward is $10,000 US, while the third award is $5,000 US. Every competitor is in the same boat. Except for the top 3, no one remembers you, even if your performance was excellent. A dark horse squad was established this year in the Dream League World League of Heroes confrontation. Or perhaps not just one, but an entire clan. This team's name seemed a little weird. The Mengyu Club is its name. It sounds like a person's name, but they have no idea who these folks are. Because Heroes can be registered for every 5 or more teams, it was not limited to the situation where a club only had one team. Other giant teams also prepared 2 or 3 teams, as these teams could decide whether or not they would win, and what drew everyone's attention to this club was their 25 teams. Each team had an average of 9 people plus substitutes, and when they played, 5 of these 25 teams entered the offline competition and got the top 20 spots in China. After the top 20 players from each country were selected, it was necessary to compete with players from other parts of the world. In the heat of August, all fans saw the players from the Mengyu Club. The average age of the players did not even exceed 18. Each of them looked very young, which made many feel odd. This time, Rong Lele and Tang Jiayu came to lead the team. Now, these 2 people have been able to stand on their own. They had their unique status in the school. So after the club was established, the 2 were also the managers of the club. As for how the students were managed, some were sent to attend the competition, and some stayed here to help with errands because the 9th Dream Cup was particularly popular and many fans came to support the competition. Many contestants had been interviewed by the media. Only the children of the school chose to refuse the interview, and they even said that they would only be willing to accept the interview if they won the championship. As those words came out, compared to those players who were interviewed, the newly emerged club had attracted everyone's attention. The game was in full swing for more than a month. During this period, many people came to see the commotion, and online, major video sites were live streaming the event. It can be said that the 9th Dream Cup World League has never been more intense. Since the beginning, many powerful local teams have lost to foreign teams, while the Mengyu Club has proven itself to be strong. Although they were young, they were a tough opponent and weren't easily bullied. The final 6 were selected by the organizers to compete in the capital. The scene was very magnificent. Tickets were sold out as soon as they started selling, and many of the ticket prices had risen from the initial 300 yuan to 30,000. As for the remaining 6 competitors, half were domestic, and the others were well-known veteran teams. The remaining 3 teams were from other countries. Anyway, most of the locals didn't want foreigners to win. Last year's championship came from South Korea. This year, however, they had 3 native teams enter the finals, so they had a 50% chance of winning, so the tickets were extra expensive. Xiao Qingrong also saw the efforts of the children, so before the tickets were sold out, the students were asked if they wanted to go to the field to watch the game. Because the children in the school had been very obedient for the past 2 years, Xiao Qingrong was able to save a lot of things. When Xiao Qingrong asked, everyone was excited. Even if there were 15,000 students in the school, Xiao Qingrong was still able to provide. He had bought 15,000 tickets through hacking. Due to the stadium having 80,000 fixed seats and 11,000 temporary seats, it was better to buy 15,000 tickets. The children in the school also handed in the money they paid for their tickets. Xiao Qingrong didn't know whether to laugh or cry. They finally chartered the plane and went to Beijing. On the eve of the game, they finally arrived at the scene. They even wore uniform clothing to support the players at their school, which said the 4 characters of Mengyu School. All the students were youthful, and even the teachers were happy. The game was surrounded by large screens. Xiao Qingrong sat down after a long time. The children were also sitting in front of the filming position. They were all so stunning that the cameras couldn't help but sweep over them. Compared to others, these youthful students weren't like those who came to this place at first glance. After all, parents in our society wouldn't willingly let their children play on computers, let alone come to watch a competition. Tian. Jiang Mengmeng turned 20 years old this year. She went to school not far from home and had a boyfriend. She usually went out on dates with him, but due to some online gaming competition, he wouldn't leave his screen. She found this out after going to her boyfriend's place and seeing him watching the game. I know you like the game. But is it worth more than I am? She reached out to cover the screen but was then pushed away. And today is the final. The 9th Dream Cup Championship is coming out today. If you're shopping, isn't it okay to go by yourself? If you want me to go, I'll be with you tomorrow. But please don't bother me when I'm watching the game. Her boyfriend didn't know what solitude was. He continued to watch the game with all his heart. After pushing her hand away, he stared at the screen intently. Even if she was angry, she could only bear it, so she decided to play on her mobile phone and later discuss why he loved his game more than her. But it was only for a short while that her boyfriend became crazy. He suddenly hugged her and danced around in a circle. Mengyu's club won again. Our country's team won again. His enthusiastic appearance made Jiang Mengmeng helpless. After he calmed down, he followed the situation and watched the game. There were live interviews after each game. Now, it was currently pointing at the children. The next thing we are going to interview is this year's Dream Cup's biggest dark horse, the Mengyu Club. Standing next to me is the captain of the Mengyu Club, Zhang Haohui, who is the glorious knight in this game. Are you satisfied with your performance on the court? The boy standing next to the host had a beautiful face, and when he laughed, there were 2 dimples, and his eyes seemed to glow. I'm very satisfied. Our team will also get better results. Our goal is to win. His words were so resolute. He was only 16 years old, and yet he was already known as a genius in the esports industry. If they truly win the championship, his worth will exceed $100 million. That's good, congratulations in advance for better results. Then there's our god-level ADC, who sits next to the captain. This year, he and the captain share the same age. He is only 16 years old. Although Jiang Mengmeng's boyfriend was watching the video with interest, Jiang Mengmeng was blinded by the sight because she knew one of the 2 children laughing in the video. She not only knew, but it was her cousin as well. God's dead. Jiang Mengmeng spent the last 2 years away from home because she left for college. Last year, when she returned home, she only knew that her cousin had poor grades because he engaged in excessive gaming and even got into a fight with her uncle. Then he was transferred to an outdoor school. Jiang Mengmeng vigorously disagreed with her parents after learning this. After all, those quit-net schools were deceiving a lot of people. Some of them not only beat people but also heavily abused them. After talking to her parents also tried to talk it out with her uncle and aunt, but they did not listen to them at all. Instead, they listened to her other cousin. Only then did Jiang Mengmeng know that her cousin was sent to the school by her cousin. Later, Jiang Mengmeng secretly inquired several times and wanted to know where her cousin was sent, but she only knew that it was a school outside the country. Yes. What was the school called? Mengyu School, wasn't it? Jiang Mengmeng was suddenly stunned. Looking at her cousin standing on screen, he was smiling like his father. He had 2 lovely little dimples. I thought the brothers, uncle got married this year. I bought a house for my cousin, and then I thought about my cousin being sent to the Ring Network Center. Jiang Mengmeng suddenly had red eyes. Only now did her boyfriend notice that something was wrong with her and hurriedly comfort her. Mengmeng, don't be angry. I promised to watch only the last day of the game today, and I won't watch it after the final. Jiang Mengmeng, on the other hand, no longer cared about her boyfriend watching the game and pointed to her cousin, saying, "Is this guy called Jiang Haohui? Is he playing games? Do you know him?" Her boyfriend happened to be a fan of the team. When he heard that his girlfriend was interested, he hurriedly said, "Yes, he's called Jiang Haohui, the super dark horse in this year's Heroes Confrontation Dream Cup National League. They are the team of the Mengyu Club. Jiang Haohui is the captain of the first team. He is only 16 years old. The hottest genius esports player on the internet. If he can win the championship in the 9th competition, he will be famous. By then, he will easily be worth over 1 billion yuan." Jiang Mengmeng was shocked and the player was introduced to her, but she was even more taken aback because she knew that the person up top was undoubtedly her cousin. However, Jiang Mengmeng felt uneasy when she thought of her uncle and aunt. She was afraid to tell her uncle and aunt this. If her cousin won the championship, she intended to discuss it after first watching the game. There will almost certainly be an interview, HIPAA. It was at that point that she knew what to do. "I will watch the game with you." Jiang Mengmeng sat down without saying much. She expected to see her cousin again, but she wasn't sure what was going on. Hadn't her uncle and aunt sent him to a ring school? How was he going to take part in the contest? Additionally, these kids would shock anyone else watching the game anywhere in the world because the school they were sent to was designed to prevent them from playing video games. Although many people were aware of them, seeing them on the large stage left them in awe. After the competition, during the advertisement, the camera swept over the people of Mengyu School, seeing that they all wore the same uniform. Some reporters came to interview them, of course, to check if they were related to the Mengyu Club. This interview reporter was also very fun. His name is Yan Kong, and he specifically found a beautiful young lady to interview. This person just happens to be An Xian, who is now the best online celebrity on the Reddit network. She came here to cheer on her classmates, so An Xian didn't have very delicate makeup, but she was still very beautiful and photogenic. "Hello, classmate, can I interview you?" A Xian has been facing the camera all the time, facing millions of viewers. She is no stranger to the camera, showing a sweet smile towards the camera and nodding. Okay, so the reporter was delighted to see that the young girl in front of her was not only lovely but also kind, and he hurried to interview her. "I noticed that every single one of you is sporting attire bearing the Mengyu School logo. Do you all attend school? Why is that relevant to our seed team?" He quickly understood the point because of his pointed lips. After hearing this, An Xian's smile on her face became more proud, and her voice was sweeter. "Yes, we are all from the same school, and the Mengyu team was also created by our principal's club. This time, the students from the school came together to cheer the team. I believe they will be able to win the championship," she said, raising her fist and making a win-win look. "She is so cute." The reporter couldn't help laughing. Then I would like to congratulate your classmates for winning the championship. The reporter would also like the Chinese to win the championship. Now that one of the foreign teams has been eliminated, the chances are even greater. He planned to wait for the start of the next event to interview. Sitting in the crowd, after the game restarted with the control of the game characters on the big screen, the surrounding people cheered. Xiao Qingrong, who had lived for many years, was moved, and looking at everyone's performance on the screen, he was also happy for them. He knew they would create a new era and save countless children whose parents thought there was no cure. Host, the children are excellent. We will win the championship. 618 had also developed an interest in video games. Before that, it was only accompanying them for training, and since it wasn't human, it was easier to control the overall situation. With 618 training them, it was enough to make them so outstanding. Well, I think so. Because of these students, he will be the first brick to knock on the door of this world. The game on the field became even more intense. More and more people were watching the live broadcast, and everyone was very curious about the Mengyu school. As a result, fans couldn't help looking it up. But they were not expecting what they saw, a school dedicated to preventing children from becoming addicted to the internet. This left a lot of fans frightened. They thought it was a prank from God. The school even formed a club, and it was about to win the world championship. No matter what the fans thought, the game finished and the results were finalized. Everyone did not expect that when entering the top 3, the local giants would be eliminated, leaving only 2 teams in the final. The Mengyu Club and a South Korean team survived the fight. South Korea was the second runner-up, and the third runner-up was still the Mengyu team. This Dark Horse Club was born, successfully counterattacking all the domestic giants. Then came the award ceremony. Everyone wanted to find out what the Dark Horse Club was like. When all the children of the Mengyu team cheered together, holding a trophy, their post-match declaration followed. Jiang Haohui is a gifted player who is now regarded as the best jungler player by his classmate and is the first to stand out. And to be able to win this championship today, Jiang Haohui spoke and said, "I thank my principal, all my classmates, and also Mengyu School for letting me find my dream." Speaking of it, everyone may not believe it, but a year and a half ago, I was sent to school by my biological parents.